In America, the two best-selling cars are the Ford Taurus and the Honda Accord, but neither is the best-selling vehicle. Not by a long way. This is the Ford F-Series pickup truck, the Texas Cadillac. The pickup truck started out in life as a sort of covered wagon, a workhorse, but today it's actually a style statement. If I drive round in one of these, other road users see me as a hard-living, hard-drinking kind of guy. The sort of person who has a £6 steak for breakfast, garnished with a tractor. And when they stop for work at 11 for a cup of coffee, I'm out in the yard drinking diesel and wrestling bison.
Running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna own me, 2 that wanna stone me, 1 so she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy.
Well, you see this console down here? There's just about space inside for a couple of six-packs. And these cylindrical receptacles here are just the right size for a can of Budweiser. As P.J. O'Rourke said, the pickup truck is the world's first beer-guided vehicle.
It's not against the law to drink while you're driving in Texas. Drunk is against the law. In Texas, you can have an open container. Be sissy otherwise, wouldn't it?
I like something big and powerful, and just like my man. And 305, 8-cylinder, put it in cruise control, can just fly. No one's going to mess with me. They get out of my way when they see me coming.
I think it's kind of cool to be a cowboy, you know, and to be a rancher. But they got a lot of good songs about, you know, pickup trucks.
I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, and such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me.
In Texas last year, Ford sold 21,000 Taurus saloon cars and 110,000 pickup trucks.
Yeah. How about a truck driving song tonight? Yeah.
Probably Austin, Texas probably got more pickups per capita per person than probably any other place in the whole world as far as I know. And I think it's mainly because they're outdoorsmen here in Austin, Texas, and we got the hill country, and we got ranchers, we got farmers, we got people that like to go out and fish, and you catch such big fish in Texas, you got to have a big pickup so you can just kind of throw them in the back of the truck bed, you know.
Right, Sammy, despite that shirt, I'd like to bet you've got a pickup truck parked out there as well.
Yeah, we got a, for my band, the Giesenslaws, we have, well, we did have haul our equipment in a van, a 79 Chevy van, but we wanted to upgrade and look better. So we got a trailer, a red trailer, and this red pickup out here with the pipes coming up the side is our pickup, yeah. It's not a real fancy one, of course. The real status symbol is like, you know, all air conditioned, your bucket seats, chrome-plated rifle rack, maybe.
So how come you haven't got a car?
My dad wouldn't let me get one.
But he lets you have a pickup truck?
Right.
Well, how come?
Because they're not as dangerous as cars.
What? Pickup trucks turn over really easily.
It just depends on how you drive them, though.
Pickup trucks are now so ingrained in the Texas psyche, they even race them. It's called mud dragging. Now, I know this may look like a bunch of people driving Toyotas through a puddle, but obviously it's a deal more dangerous than that. I've signed endless forms, waiving everything. I have to wear a helmet, a neck brace. Everybody's been made to stand hundreds of yards back. It obviously requires a great deal of skill and large cojones. I got myself a stock Toyota 4-cylinder. Right, you line up, wait for the lights to go green, and give it full revs, dump the clutch, and away she goes. And then you just sit here, and out pops the other side, I tell you. Hanging wallpaper is more exciting. It's unbelievable how easy it is to amuse an American. When the time comes to drive over an earth mover's tyre, the crowd goes nuclear. Mind you, it's more interesting than cricket.
If it rolls, floats, flies, or crashes, runs on gasoline or high explosives, shoots a big bullet, makes lots of noise, producing torque and recoil, then it's cool. But if it's a ball made out of leather or inflated with air, hit with a bat, racket, or club, played on a course, green, or court by yuppies or liberals, it sucks.
Yep, I'll go with all of that. And so too do these guys who race their pickup trucks for thousands and thousands of miles across the desert. If I may be permitted to liken America to the human body, then I think it's fair to say that California is its face, New York is its brain, but Texas is its heart. Yep, if you want to know what makes America tick, get your 10-gallon hat on and get yourself to Texas.
I think Texans consider Texas sacred soil. And when I was born, my father was working about 30 miles outside the state line in Louisiana. He made it a point that my feet would not touch the ground until he had taken me back across the state line, taken my shoes off, and set me on Texas soil.
I guess anyone who is proud of his place of birth would understand how Texans feel about theirs. Probably maybe go overboard in some areas, but it's because we really do like Texas. We're not just here because it's where we were born. We're here because we like it.
I don't see why you don't stay a little on.
Texas is the only state in the Union with a get-out clause in the Constitution. Any time these people want to leave the United States, they can just walk away. Perhaps this is why Texans seem to just ignore so many of the rules and regulations coming down from Washington. Clinton, for instance, wants stricter gun control. Texas has just passed a law where you can actually walk around carrying a concealed weapon. And then there's building regulations. Elsewhere in the civilized world, there's the trivial and bothersome business of planning consent. But not here. If you want to build your house out of beer cans, go right ahead. Beats the hell out of stone cladding. Texas embodies the old-fashioned, pre-political correctness American dream. The people here are freer, friendlier, fatter, and simpler. And if you want to know what I mean by simpler, remember, one of them married Mark Thatcher.
We grow up in a place that offers such wide open spaces, it's just natural. Get behind the wheel and put your foot in it.
Well, Texas is like a woman. I mean, some are flat and some are not. I mean, it depends on what part of Texas you're in. So the cars are that way.
You gotta whip it up and hit me like a ton of lead. If I blow my top.
See, the thing about Texas is we can go in any direction from this place right here, which is right in the middle of Houston, and in 20 minutes, I can be doing 200 miles an hour.
Frank, of course, finds it very easy to do 200 miles an hour because he has a fistful of Ferraris. But what about the other two, the weird beards? What sort of cars do they drive?
Texas is really a strange place. There is so much a cultural mix of influences. You find low riders, high riders, and all points in between.
The 49 Mercury I have out there right now is a big lead sled, large car, but that probably became popular because it was easier to make out at the drive-in rather than going fast. You can go fast inside the car sitting still.
What about this, though, the Eliminator? I mean, I bet that doesn't hang around.
I've yet to put it nose to nose with Frank, but all in good fun. You know, when we're doing music, the game is really to stay in the groove, not to speed up or drag behind. So we're pretty much neck and neck so far. I prefer a lightweight car, high revving, a car that you can use more of your driving skills, as opposed to an American car, which is generally heavier, big engined, and is mostly just has to do with your right foot. So I like the nimbleness of the Italian cars. He is the propellant, if you will. I think anything slower than a Ferrari would be detrimental to the musical stylings that we pursue. The idea of the car is to get to the next party. You know, my preference is to get there in a Ferrari. You know, I'll get there quicker and stay longer and get home before you do.
This awful Chevrolet Corvair is worth about 41p. This one, however, according to its owner, is worth $41 million.
Well, this car is left to the world, museums, in memory of my dear departed wife, Jean K. Kendall Battenfield. Her life was snuffed out between a car and a truck on I-40 in Washington here in Amarillo, Texas. And it was a great loss to me. The car has been therapy for me. It is done to be different. There's nothing in the world like it. It's classified as artwork. There'll never be another one. The jewelry is all nieces, nephews, grandma, grandpa, mother's jewelry, sister's jewelry, brother's jewelry. This little Sato watch here was given to me by a little girl out here at the park one day. She took it off her wrist. I'm sure the little watch meant a lot to her. Probably cost $4 or $5. That means a lot to me that little girl would give up her worldly good, her possession, the little watch, take it off her arm and ask me to put it on the car.
He's even put his purple heart on it. But if it's purple prose you're after, get me out of here and into the seminal Texas car, the Chevy El Camino SS. Many things make it appropriate. First, it's a pickup truck. Second, it has an enormous 7.4-litre 430 horsepower V8. And third, back in the 70s, it was built here.
It's got a competition clutch, 4 on the floor. She purrs like a kitten till the lake pipe roar.
If you think ZZ Top are loud, just check this out. Those exhausts, they're not just pipes, they're musical instruments. 6-foot Fender Strats.
You could get very, very fond of this car.
Elsewhere in America, custom cars look like this, but here, it ain't no good unless it's got a flatbed on the back. Even the Texan Latins, with their penchant for cars that jump, have caught the pickup bug.
I think we're talking here about the Range Rover syndrome. By riding around town in their flash pickup trucks, these urban cowboys really do believe they got a ranch somewhere. They sit out at night round a campfire with a cold beer and a couple of wild, wild women. The trouble is, their dreams were manufactured by Hollywood. The Texas reality is rather different.
I've had it for probably 14 years, and I hadn't got over how ugly it is yet. I used to come out in the evening sometime when I'd come out with a cup of coffee and spend a few minutes, and I'd back out the road and look at it. You're just the ugliest thing I ever seen.
And that is official. It's just been voted the ugliest pickup truck in all of Texas.
Ugly can become so ugly it's pretty. And it can fool you. It can be very deceptive, but you get to looking at it and all of a sudden the ugliness just moons you. You know, you're mooned in. You're hooked on it. And you think, good gosh, I've never seen nothing that ugly. And you can't walk away without turning around at least 3 times and looking back at it and shaking your head. I've actually had people to throw their stuff down and run in the house when they see me coming down the road. I'm serious. This one guy, I could see him about 3 blocks away. And I was watching him, and he walked out a little further, and his neck was actually stretching. He was looking at me coming down that road. And as I got closer, he started stepping back, and within about 3/4 of a block, he actually throwed his water hose down and ran into the house. And I slowed down. I thought, God, wonder what's the matter, you know? And it began to dawn on me, he was afraid of my truck. He was literally afraid of it.
What kind of an engine's it got in it?
Right now, it's just got a little small block Chevrolet engine. Probably, I think it's a 400 small block. They're real torquey motors. I took a big 396 high performance out of it, which was wore down. It was a beastly engine.
Can I see traces of shopping lists and things on it?
Yeah, and dates and figures, and most of it's faded off now. The whole side, both sides, if I got out this door or if I was doing something there and I was figured, I'd ride it on the side of my truck. 7 o'clock, coffee in the morning, $2.90, you know, and meet Joe or whatever the occasion was. I'd put it on the truck because when I'd walk out in the morning about half awake, I'd open the door, and there it was. I couldn't forget, you know, so I had no excuse for forgetting it was right before me. So, and through the day, I'd write an address on there so that I wouldn't forget.
If you won the state lottery, which is what, $45 million, I think, right now, would you keep that?
Oh yeah, I'd keep it. I'd put some new tires on it, brake shoes, and power steering. I'd love to have some power steering and shocks.
Air conditioning?
No.
No?
Oh, no. Good old Texas heat, it's good for you.
Is it?
Yeah, it makes you sweat, cleans your pores out so you can get dirty again, you know. It's a process, reciprocating process, I guess you'd call it.
I know a good way of getting up a sweat and going broke. Trucks like these use 1 gallon of fuel to cover 300 yards.
Right, so tell me about the engine on this truck then.
This is a 572 blown and alcohol injected big block Ford motor. Puts out about 1,300 horsepower.
1,300?
1,300.
That must make it one of the most powerful vehicles in the known universe.
Fairly close. There are some drag race cars that are more powerful, but basically this is a top alcohol motor in a funny car or a drag car.
Well, I've driven some fast cars in my time and some powerful stuff, but not ever have I been this nervous.
That's the sound of a 9.7 litre engine. There is a substitute for cubic inches. Cubic feet.
This is really scary. Oh. The acceleration is unbelievable. 5 tons, and it goes that fast. They gotta be joking. No. This is it. This is the all-time Clarkson favorite vehicle. Take it to the limit. This could mess up somebody's lawn pretty good.